Ah. Guys, how you doing? Thanks for watching us. Thanks for letting us come in to your homes, iPhone devices or phone devices, smart devices, any of those. We have more rubric for you, Ryan and I. And this time we have for you a section that everybody seems to love, our top 5. And this top 5 is going to talk about the best King of the Ring winners of all time. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
Good. Good. Ready to talk about the King of the Ring and our favorite winners of all time. And we're going to start with the number 5th spot. That is going to be Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes.
You can... There it is.
Yep.
There it is for the camera. There you go.
However, at this time, he was Macho King. He had won the King of the Ring tournament with, I think winning that, it was good. I know that Miss Elizabeth wanted time off, so they paired him with Sherry, and the Macho King was born.
That new gimmick.
Yes.
But he was heel at that time.
Yes.
He was not face anymore. He became heel. The year that we're talking about this is 1987. And Randy was just on fire. But to me, I think he was able to pull it off. But he wasn't as hot as he was while being face.
No.
He had a match at WrestleMania against Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire.
Yep.
And then WrestleMania 8, he had a retirement match
with Warrior.
With Ultimate Warrior when he got the 20 elbows and he didn't sell for shit and he got up like nothing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that rank that match high on like great matches at WrestleMania. I despise that match because
the no sell.
The no sell.
Yeah.
You know, it really bothered me. But the reunition, or like when
Elizabeth and Randy Savage reunited,
like that was
the highlight to me of the match.
Yes.
So if you're putting like a reunion
over the
match, that really says a lot. But to me, the Macho King as a character was decent. I wouldn't say it was great. It wasn't a great time to be a Randy Savage fan, but he was able to pull that off just because he was Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes.
He will do whatever it needed to be done to make the character go over.
Yes. I mean, the reason we're doing this list, I came across an Instagram list. It wasn't even really a list. It was WWE. They have to always tout and put stuff on Instagram, and it said, "Who's your favorite King of the Ring?" And a lot of them were decent ones. They were legitimate, but then they had several who, to me, just did not make sense. So yes, I wanted to come on here and we wanted to list our favorites, or at least rank the 5 that we thought were most qualified.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and I think the Macho King, again, he won that, and it made the heel character legit. It made him legit. And also from Randy Savage, that became one of his accolades.
Yes.
Being the King of the Ring, he beat who for the crown?
In the main, the last match.
I think it's the Junkie Yard Dog or something like that.
I don't remember.
But again, he was able to be that helped him out to become a bigger heel. And that was when he went against Hogan. He went against all the baby faces of that time. And I think pairing him up with Sherry was good, but at the same time, it wasn't able... I don't think they were able to produce better things than, like, for example, he pairing up with Elizabeth. Because people were so used to see them together.
Well, that was natural.
So that
they had an actual relationship. It was natural, so people were used to that, and I don't think the chemistry was the same.
Yeah, and there was a lot of backlash because Sherry was heel, and I don't think, that was, to me, I will say, despite the fact, once again, I'll keep saying that, he was able to pull that off, it wasn't a great time for Macho Man. I guess he had to be healed, but like to me, when he was face with Elizabeth, that was his best work.
Yeah.
So that's our number 5 pick, and for the best King of the Rings of all time. And number 4, we have the Beast Incarnated, or
I would say the next big thing.
Or
Brock
Here Comes
Lesnar.
the Pain.
Yes, Brock Lesnar.
Because Ryan loves Brock Lesnar from 02 all the way to 04.
Yes. That's when he could actually wrestle. You know, you didn't just see him doing German suplexes and that's it.
And F5 and done.
You know,
he had more moves.
He had a quality moveset, and, you know, he was very much, to me, like a Kurt Angle. He could actually really put on a technical match, and he was very athletic in the ring. He put on a lot of good matches with a lot of quality opponents. Very good in the ring. And, you know, this was at the point where they were doing the King of the Ring tournament the correct way, where...
It was a pay-per-view.
Yes, you had the pay-per-view, you had the tournament, and then whoever won the tournament would face the champion at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice way to build up somebody credibly. And they did everything they could to build up Brock Lesnar in a credible way.
Yes.
You know, they're not doing that properly now, but to me, they did everything correctly with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, they did everything correctly.
That was one of the few times they actually did everything correctly.
Yes.
I will say it was a pay-per-view, 2002, King of the Ring. He beat Rob Van Dam for the crown. And even the semifinals were pretty decent because it was Van Dam against Jericho, and then Lesnar against Test. I think it was. Yeah, and both of them great matches. And again, even the whole tour, like the semifinal, I think, and the finals were in the pay-per-view.
Yes,
and that was nice. That was nice to see. And then Brock Lesnar after that will be catapulted to the main event of SummerSlam against The Rock.
Yep. He would go on to beat The Rock and
then he became the next best thing, the next big thing. And that was because that was the stepping stone for him to become a main event player. He was winning the King of the Ring.
Yes.
And that was great. And that was the way that like a superstar needed to be built. And nowadays we need the same setup. We need the same process to build superstars. Because see, Brock Lesnar still, he was big. He was good in the ring. But we didn't know about him. We didn't know how good he could be. But by seeing the matches throughout the tournament and the final, we were like, okay, this guy is credible. Has to be the next opponent for The Rock. So to me, it was great to see that. And that was, to me, the last legit King of the Ring win.
I would agree.
And see what happened after that with Brock Lesnar. Championship run after championship run, and then UFC.
Well, no doubt. I mean, they even let him win the Royal Rumble.
He won the Royal Rumble.
Another way to build up a credible opponent.
Yeah.
I mean,
again, stepping stone. King of the Ring, 2003, year after, he won the Royal Rumble. He went to challenge Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 19. He won the title, and then, you know, he went skyrocket. So that to me, it signifies what the King of the Ring tournament was and meant for an upcoming superstar. What this tournament, that's what like this worked for any superstars that wanted to be featured as main event players. So and that's one of the greatest examples is Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And that all started King of the Ring 2002. Then we have the number 3 spot.
Number 3 is Kurt Angle.
Pretty similar story.
Yes. I want to say Kurt Angle probably the rises, like one of the fastest.
One of the fastest rises. Yeah.
Superstars in WWF history. Because he, you know, same thing. You know, the only thing he didn't do is the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
You know, but King of the Ring, you know, championship after championship. Because that's one of the things Lesnar was not able to accomplish. Kurt Angle started off with European Championship, IC champion. So he was double champion at the time.
He went to WrestleMania as double champion.
He did. You know, he did lose both titles at the time. But, you know, to me that doesn't matter. He won the
WWE Championship.
He did in the end. The King of the Ring was still a stepping stone to get a major push. He was able to win that. He was, in the end, at No Mercy, able to win the championship, and that was a great run for him.
Oh yeah. Kurt Angle. Okay, pay-per-view is King of the Ring 2000. The main event of that pay-per-view is The Rock with The Undertaker and Kane going against Shane O'Mac, Vince McMahon, and Triple H for the championship. And whoever will get the first spin, meaning The Undertaker, Kane, or The Rock, will become champion. But before that, we had the King of the Ring tournament, and the finals was Rikishi against Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
A great match. Rikishi throughout the tournament was dragging an injury, and you could see that was the story that they were telling throughout the match. And at the end, Kurt Angle did a belly-to-belly from the top rope, and he became the King of the Ring of that year. But that was the first time that Kurt Angle was a main event. It was a main event player. Then it will come the European Championship. It will come IC belt, and you could see how they were building a new star in Kurt Angle. So the next move for him was to just challenge The Rock at No Mercy. He became champion, and the rest is just history. Many championship runs, some of them short, some of them okay, but he was able to be one of the main event players at the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
He beat Undertaker, Rikishi, Stone Cold, Rock, Kane. So it was a great thing for Kurt Angle to be the King of the Ring. It made his career. That was again another stepping stone. And if you think about it, Ryan, Kurt Angle was actually the only person that was, besides Bret Hart, to actually go in finals 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to Kurt Angle, it was back-to-back years. Because in the King of the Ring 2001, he went in the finals against Edge.
Mm-hmm.
He will end up losing that match, but he almost becomes like a two-time winner in back-to-back years. So to me, and that was again, like Ryan was saying, that was the time that they had the pay-per-views. It was exciting to see. We're all waiting for who could be the next King of the Ring. And in this case, they will really feature upcoming stars. And when it came to Kurt Angle, that was just a little proof of what he could do. Yes. And what the potential you could see from Kurt Angle in the ring. And then the rest, like I said, is history. Great matches with anybody. And then all the way to 2006, the best technical wrestler that they had at that time.
Yep.
Chris Benoit, great matches. Ryan, favorite matches is Royal Rumble 2003 and WWE Championship. Chris Benoit, great match, and that was just a little bit of what Kurt Angle could do. That would take us to the number 2 spot.
Yes, number 2, Bret Hart, and that, to me, no doubt, he was built, made man, 1991 when he won the the King of the Ring.
King of the Ring.
But no doubt, a made man because of that. That's one of the better pay-per-views.
A lot of people consider that King of the Ring is the best King of the Ring of all time.
Even the 93 is a decent one, I think, because of Bret Hart. He won that as well. He's a 2-time King of the Ring winner.
I think I would say the only one.
I believe so.
The only 2-time King of the Ring winner.
But that's why he made the list. He won it twice. And, both times, the first time it built him up in 91, IC title run, stuff like that. But also, it led him up into 92 where he could win the WWF Championship. From Ric Flair, everything like that. It had built him up to be a credible opponent. It showed everybody that they had trust in him. And then into 93, again, trying to build him up again as another credible opponent. Because for me, I think, 93, you had the Lex Express, stuff like that, but I think, saw fans weren't really interested as much in that. They kind of ruined him at SummerSlam. with the count out victory where it made no fucking sense when they were
celebrate.
Yeah, they were celebrating with the count out victory over Yokozuna. So
even Randy Savage came out, they lifted him up. Yeah,
so
that was complete. Yeah, that was one of the most ridiculous moments in WWE history. So, absolute garbage.
But having him win the King of the Ring was another story where, you know, the man wins the King of the Ring. You can still build him up as another credible opponent and have him be a guy who is another man on a mission to be champion. So that's still, to me, another great job, you know, having him win that. Going into 94, where, you know, both men, Lex Luger and Bret Hart, are going to be going for the championship, and that was their idea. You know, because that's what ended up happening for WrestleMania. You know, but in the end, you saw who won, and that was Bret Hart, who conquered Yokozuna in the end.
Yeah.
So
he was able to win the WWE champion or the WWF championship, and he conquered Yokozuna. And then once again, he was able to produce really great matches with Mr. Perfect, Bam Bam Bigelow, Razor Ramon, in both tournaments. So pretty much, again, Bret Hart, he can be the King of the Ring guy or the SummerSlam guy. Because those two were his best, I will say, pay-per-view matches. When he produced his best matches, it was on those shows.
I would agree.
Yeah. I will say WrestleMania was a really good spotlight for him. But I think King of the Ring and SummerSlam are his like history-making moments, I would say, for Bret Hart. And without those, I don't think his career would have been as decorated as what it is right now.
I agree.
Because I think people really, really believe that he was more than a tag team specialist when he won King of the Ring. Both years.
Yes.
And also and then that led into a match with the King, Jerry Lawler.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole feud was because he won the King of the Ring.
Well, yeah, Jerry Lawler actually interrupted the ceremony and everything, and that led to their match, and you know, that was a very good storyline at that time.
Yeah.
So
I think it was very important for him to win King of the Ring. And again, it just also like paved the road for so many stars that after that they won it.
Mm-hmm.
But because it became something meaningful because, somebody like Bret Hart won the King of the Ring. So it became really prestigious. At least for the years that went on, and until the end. So that will be our number 2 spot. And number 1 is...
Number 1, I think,
our countdown.
For us, we agreed on this, is Stone Cold Steve Austin. That, to us, I think we both agreed, is definitely the number 1, simply because without Austin winning King of the Ring in 96, and his promo afterwards, there's never an Austin 316, and there's never a star born like there was with Stone Cold Steve Austin. That King of the Ring, first of all, that King of the Ring, 2 stars were born, if you think about it. The Rock made his debut that night as Rocky Maivia. People began to vehemently hate him after a couple months, and he was able to turn into The Rock. But that night, Austin won the King of the Ring and cut one of the greatest promos of all time. And, you know, the next night on Raw, Austin 316 signs all over, you know, and a new star is born. And to me, without the King of the Ring and without that platform to say what he wanted to say, because he did go off the script. He went up there without knowing what he was going to say, and he just said, you know,
take that whatever piece of crap out of
out of my ring, you know. It's Psalm 316, Austin 316 says, "I just whipped your ass." Yeah, I think what does he say? Forget about John 316. Austin 316 says,
"I just whipped your ass." And he beat in the final Jake the Snake Roberts that was making his return.
Yeah,
and it was good to see, you know, the old school goings against the new school in a way, and Jake the Snake passed the torch to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and pretty much that whole line right there, I just whip your ass for Austin 316, that made his career. After that moment, he was a made man.
He was.
And whatever he did after that, it was just pure gold.
It was, because he went on to feud with Bret Hart then,
Yes.
at Survivor Series,
Yes.
then at WrestleMania.
Yes.
That double switch at Mania,
Mm-hmm.
he absolutely became the biggest babyface in the entire company. You know, and then on to WrestleMania 14, where Michaels
yep.
passed him the belt, and he was the biggest man in, to me, probably wrestling history when it comes to popularity.
Yes, yeah. And then that Stone Cold Steve Austin became, you know, the megastar that he is still this day, because we even talk about that in the Raw reunion video that we did. So I feel that, like, it was the fact that he won the King of the Ring in that year, in a year that he wasn't even supposed to win, because that year was supposed to be won by Triple H, but because of the Curtin Cole scandal, like, they gave it to Stone Cold. And see, they were able to create another superstar. Yep. They gave him a new gimmick, and they create this rebel son of a bitch that, like, doesn't care about anybody besides himself, that will do whatever he wants. And
without that character, the Attitude Era, to me, is not the same, and they don't win the Monday Night Wars.
Without Stone Cold Steve Austin, I will say they will not win the Monday Night Wars. I agree with that statement 100%. Because Stone Cold Steve Austin was the catalyst, was the main character of what everything that the Attitude Era represented.
Yep.
And that started the promo after that match when he won King of the Ring.
Yeah.
So for me, that should be the best King of the Ring winner because of what happened after that. Yes. What did he do after he won that King of the Ring? Again, he went to championships. He went to just him becoming the biggest star of wrestling and probably the most popular star of all time. And all of that thanks to that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So we have a few honorable mentions. We would like to mention Edge, 2001 winner, because it also helped him out to create his career as a singles competitor.
Mm-hmm. Break out on his own.
Break out on his own, and that actually, him winning the King of the Ring started like to feel tension, start to develop tension between him and Christian, because Christian was jealous that he won it instead of him. For that reason, I think that set up the storyline for them to split up, and that led to like a few months, like I wouldn't say 2-3 month rivalry with Christian for the IC belt, but that was what started to see as Edge as a single competitor, and I feel that it was important to see him winning something on his own, because he didn't even need the help of Christian, because actually Christian tries to help him, but he misses and ends up helping Kurt Angle. But at that time, Kurt Angle was feuding with Shane O'Mac, so Shane O'Mac comes out and he helps Edge win it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was an honorable mention, because look what Edge did after that. I mean, it took him a lot of years, yes, of a singles competition to actually win the WWE Championship. It took him 5 years from winning the King of the Ring to become the WWE Champion. But after that, it was 9 more runs as a champion and just a main event player after that.
Mm-hmm.
He never went back. He never went back to become, again, a tag team specialist. I mean, he did tag with Rey Mysterio a few times, but not like he used to be with Christian.
No. So,
in our eyes, I feel, any other memorable mentions?
In the early days, you know, when it first started, it first started in 85, but I would say maybe Harley Race in 86.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he kind of brought it to prominence, I want to say. But other than that, I don't know that I need to bring up any other names.
I would say something that we enjoy, not because it was just great, but it was nice to see Booker T winning the 2006 one, because he created a different character in Booker T. He became King Booker.
Well, at least I want to say, just for Booker T's sake, at least he won the title.
Yeah.
You know, he deserved the belt at WrestleMania 19, and a lot of people know this, that, you know, Triple H wouldn't drop the belt to him at WrestleMania 19 in their rivalry, where he should have. Booker T had all the momentum. He should have won the belt. Triple H wasn't willing to do that. You know, and that's really bullshit of him. You know, to me, he should have won the belt then, but at least they put the belt on him at some point in his career during his WWE, you know, tenure. So, even though it was a character where he had to raise his pinky and he had Queen Charmel by his side.
And King, oh hell, King Booker. And like, yeah, it was great to see Jesus as champion.
Yeah.
Winning, like, he first becomes the King of the Ring. Then he won, it was a battle royal to become the #1 contender. And he challenged Rey Mysterio, the Grand American Bash. And then with the help of Chavo, he will win the World Heavyweight Championship at that time, dropping it to Batista a few months after in the Survivor Series. But I feel that, like, that's the honorable mentions. Any other ones that you can think of? Or something, for example, the few stars that King of the Ring didn't do anything for them.
Few stars that it didn't do anything for, there's a lot of them. Like Triple H. Didn't do anything for him at the time. You know, like, for me, you know, he won it, and then at the time it didn't do anything for him.
Yep, because he didn't go for a championship match or anything. He beat Mick Foley, or Mankind at that time.
So, you have that.
You have
all the bullshit stuff in the later years, like William Regal, Sheamus, Wade Barrett, you know, stuff like that they just never really understood how important King of the Ring could be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Would you say, Ryan, and just to conclude the video, would you say Owen Hart, did it do something for him when he won it?
I do.
The King of Hearts?
I do, because they played up the King of Hearts, stuff like that, because he did get a title shot at SummerSlam.
See, that's when they used to build it in a good way.
So
winning that tournament gave him a title shot at SummerSlam, and that will be Bret Hart against.
That's when the story was really good, because they were even brothers then. You know, that made it even more fantastic of a storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
brother versus brother.
Brother versus brother, title involved, and that actually was part of one of our videos as one of the best matches of SummerSlam of all time. So, guys, this concludes this video. We hope you enjoyed. Keep subscribing to the channel. Like I said, we've been having some issues with the Facebook page. Hopefully, Facebook is willing to help us out again and let us post more of the videos, because I know you like to watch through that outlet. If not, we're just, until then, I should say, we're gonna keep just putting the videos on the YouTube page, and we'll just give you the link. So please just hit the link and then enjoy Robrick. Okay, we want to see comments from you. There's a few changes that are going to take place for Robrick soon, and we'll be back for you guys with more Robrick.